Are we live? Okay, let's just see if we are working. How do I know if everybody is seeing me? How do I enlarge this so that it's the size of my screen? Like such? No, that's the wrong way. Okay, let's see. We're live. Hello. Awesome. Okay, let's close all of these small windows down. Let's begin from the beginning. DSLR Dave, my popcorn is ready. How's it going? Hey, Joe's in the house. Sabrina Forlini. If I skip someone, forgive me. Hamilton Watch LUV. Hamilton Watch LUV. I don't know what that means. Somebody's name I can't read, but I know. Hello, how are you? How's it going? We got Your Girl, DSLR Dave. Okay, then we got Viva Frei, Blind Icon or Blindicon. Edie Murphy's in the house. Sabrina Forlini. Adrenaline Race Events is in the house. What's up, Adrenaline? And Thomas Cahill, Edmund Burke, Judith Scott, Blind Icon. Okay, let's do this. So first of all, oh yes, the obligatory, let's hit the like button if that changes anything in the world of YouTube. Hey, I hit the like button. Why isn't it liking? I can like my own stream. Mila, I need you to like my stream. I'm joking. I'm supposed to be asleep, but well, Henshaw, where are you from? Gratuitous plug of Little Bear up the street where they are very, very kind to us. And this shirt is an extremely soft cotton that I've actually been wearing for longer than I care to admit. How are you, Viva? Judith Scott. I'm good. John Cena. Hello, John. I see you. You know, I don't even know who John Cena. I know who John Cena is, the wrestler, but I don't know the whole joke about you're not supposed to be able to see John Cena. I just know it from... what is it in your mouth? Get out of here.
Marshmallow. Marshmallow.
We had a friend visiting from Japan who brought us a... Nobody wants to see that. Who brought us a bunch of candies from Japan.
They brought us marshmallows like this.
Don't take them out because if Ethan sees it, we're going to be done. I'm supposed to see it. How are you, Viva? I'm good. John Cena. James Newland, Just Keep Trying's in the house. Henshaw is in Norway, in Oslo. Guess I'll stay up. Stay up for a little bit. It's only... 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in Oslo? 10 o'clock. John Cena, you can't see me. So Mission Zero says, I need you to like my stream. Things you should never say to your spouse. Oh, it was my daughter. It's even worse. Hasib Shahid, I am still in high school. I recently decided I want to be a lawyer. Any advice for Hasib? Do it. There's nothing. The law degree, I've said this in a previous stream, the law, just do it. Do it. Don't let your... Nobody's dream is to become a... Is it your dream to become a lawyer or you just want to become a lawyer? Okay, but do it because the law degree is immensely useful, even if you never use it. It's just useful knowledge to have, and it's a useful way of thinking to do that. So, okay, so hold on a second. I'm still in high school. Love marshmallows, always growing. Marshmallows are crack for children. This should be illegal. Your bowling video has helped my game so much. Anthony Will. Yeah, you know the funny thing is, when I put that video up, it was one of those what we call the evergreen, slow to grow videos. And a few people said that I shouldn't put it up because it's totally out of character for the channel and boring. But I knew there would be a market for people who would get something from it because that was 5 years of knowledge jammed into 6 minutes. Nepotism shout-out request. Daniel Freedom. Dan, can I disclose that you're my brother? Dan Freedom is my brother. We have a big family, so 5 kids and 17 nieces and nephews. So we have a big family. I love marshmallows. Give me a marshmallows, please, John Cena. Oh, dude. Well, the other thing is if I get rid of those marshmallows, the kids will probably like hog tie me and torture me until they get their marshmallows back. William Henshaw says 2200 here, 10 o'clock. My grandmother doesn't know I'm awake. I'll survive. Good. The Dawn in London is in the house. John Cena says, where did you get your education, Viva Frei? High school or university? High school, I went to 3 different high schools in 5 years. I tend not to elaborate on why, but there was a video on it. But 3 high schools, 5 years. Then we have this thing called CEGEP, which I went to Dawson College, did fine arts, creative arts. Then this is off-centered and it's driving me crazy. Then I went to McGill, honors philosophy, 4 years, and then I went and did my law degree in Laval University. And in February, I'm going to become a certified accredited mediator. Mom's back. Mom is back.
Mom's back.
Yes.
reaction ever.
In the house. Off center.
I got food.
Okay. So that's my education. Then I practiced law at Borden Ladner Gervais, started my own law firm, wound up my litigation side, and that's it. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Hasib Shahid says thank you. Okay, the Dawn in London. Sorry, what did I miss about the drone laws? Nothing. We haven't gotten into the drone laws yet. If I may trouble everyone to share this link on various social media so that we can see who can come from Twitter and Facebook and whatever. I'll wait a few minutes before getting into the meat of it. What was I going to say? Hey guys, put the volume down a little bit. So we haven't gotten into the drone stuff yet. Soon. That is Blind Icon. We start the drone laws yet? No, we haven't. Okay. Oh, Rachel Rawson's in the house. The SLR Dave, Edie Murphy, Rachel. Okay, am I not on the bottom? I'm not on the bottom of the thread. John Cena says he wants to meet my kids one day. They are good kids, but like all kids, they have their moments. Okay, something's happening right now. I can tell. Okay, there's the other one coming out. And one more. There he is. Nothing's happening. Something's happening. William Henshaw is going to get in trouble with his grandmother. Okay, see, these are the things. Ordinarily, in a video, I would edit that part out, but in a live stream, that's one of the risks and perils of live streaming. Oh, yes, okay. Share the link on Facebook and Twitter, and let's just see how many people we can get for this. Dawn in London says, I would love to know what are the main laws I really need to be aware of. Can I get caught for drone footage if I post it on my channel? And how will they really know if I have flown illegally? So that is a packed question. Let me just copy the question just in case I lose it. Okay, so let's start with what everybody with a drone should know. It's jurisdictionally dependent. So these laws may vary from one country to the next, and even one state or province to the next. Tell me if the audio is good enough, guys. Okay, Sina, we'll get to that. We'll get to the how do I have the guts to go up in a hot air balloon? I slept 7 hours in 2 days because I didn't sleep the night before the hot air balloon. And I double checked with my wife. If she vetoed it, then I would not have gone. But she was quite optimistic about my chances of survival. Okay. So bearing in mind that drone laws are jurisdictional, they'll vary from one state to the next, one country to the next. Some countries may have no drone laws. A rule to just, a base rule, a foundation is you can't fly. What just happened here? Sorry, close. Something just popped up over my screen. I can't see what's going on. Hold on, bear with me, guys. I lost my, there we go. You can never fly too close to an airport, period. So whether or not that's 5 miles, whether or not it's 9 kilometers, just bear that in mind. You can never fly too close to an airport, period. Some states or provinces or countries, Benia Shagib is here. How's it going? Good evening. Will also include helipads, runways, various runways, which are not like, big airports. So you just have to check on a map, and you have to be careful not to fly too close to an airport, helipad, or any place. Rules that are generally universal: you can't fly over a forest fire. You can't fly over disaster scenes because helicopters, rescue planes might need to come, and you can't risk interfering with those things. So that's one thing. Proximity to airports is generally universal. Height restrictions, I think, are generally universal. Whether it's 90 meters or 120 meters, there are height restrictions where you can't bring your drone above a certain height, and the reason being safety, planes, loss of connection, and any number of other safety issues. Oh, okay. Okay. So I should probably read the questions as we're going. So the height restrictions are one thing. Distance restrictions are another. Those will vary, but generally speaking, most laws require you to maintain an unassisted visual of your drone, unless you have a license to do a different type of flight where maybe you're going more than eye distance away, or maybe you're going around a mountain, you're going between buildings where you lose the visual with your drone. But generally speaking, recreational purposes, you have to maintain a visual with your drone. Okay, that's good. What are the other ones? Weather conditions, generally speaking, if you have laws, they're going to require you to fly in good weather conditions. Not that you'd want to fly in bad weather conditions. Not come too close to people who are not involved in the shot. Not, fly over private property. All sorts of common sense things. And so now I see one question here from K. Cotto Doctor. K. Cauto Doctor. Oh, that's KC Auto Doctor. Okay, got it. Yeah, there are some government buildings that are off limits. There are some what's the word I'm looking for? Area 51 type things. There are places where you're not allowed flying over for security reasons. So generally speaking, also ports. You're not allowed flying over federal property or ports or train tracks. Anywhere where you can cause a tremendous disaster is off limits. John Cena says, how do you manage taking care of 3 kids and 2 dogs? You are awesome, man. You are so responsible person. You give time to everybody. Sometimes it's harder than others, and you go through ups and downs, spiritual and emotional ups and downs, and but it's you get any human. I had a friend's grandfather who told me that people can get used to anything, and they can. But thank you very much. Okay, so that was the general stuff. John Cena, how did I have the guts to go in the air balloon? I was terrified before I got into it, and then when you see visually when the dog has got the wrapper of the marshmallows, but not the actual marshmallows, when you see how the balloon works, you realize that there are only certain areas where you're going to have potential catastrophic disaster. One would be anytime in the air and a plane crashes into, or a jet or whatever, a helicopter. And I was a little nervous because we were in the vicinity of a landing pad in Vegas, but it was clear visuals. So technically, you don't have that much of a risk. Clipping power lines if you're coming down with too much lateral sort of speed. But it was a perfect day. And when you see this thing go up, you realize that it doesn't just automatically drop out of the sky from some cataclysmic failure. It would require something terrible to happen. And then once you're in it, this is the amazing thing. You don't feel anything. There's no turbulence. There's no bouncing up and down. You float with the wind. And so it's almost like a feeling of weightlessness, like zero gravity, because other than the fact that you feel gravity going down, you're just drifting with the wind. You feel no wind, but you're moving. You feel no bumping because you're with the wind, moving with the wind. So it's a very surreal experience. Okay, government buildings off limits. KC Auto Doctor. Have you seen these new emergency parachutes for drones? Yeah, I was talking to someone who was in the business of developing them. I'm convinced they are a useless feature and more of a liability than a potential safety issue, because the drones falling clean out of the sky is not the way they fail typically. They crash into something and then fall down, in which case a parachute does nothing. A parachute requires a certain amount of distance to deploy. So you would have to be in that very rare situation where your battery drops dead instantaneously at a height sufficient for a parachute to actually have any impact. I don't think it's going to have any use, but I also don't believe that there's any going to be ever commercial delivery of drones. But I'm maybe wrong on that, but I'm taking a bet that we will never see commercial delivery of packages via drone. The Dawn in London says, sorry, asked it as a general question, but how can I be caught via my footage online if I flow too close to a building? Okay. Can, let's just say, Transport Canada use footage you've posted online as evidence? It's a yes and a no answer. Obviously, they can, but they would need to have presumably the metadata of the footage to know when you took it, what regulations and rules were enforced at the time. There would always be the fundamental evidentiary burden as to proving who took the footage, because unless your face is in it and it's unedited, there's always going to be a potential defense, or the prosecution is going to have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you were the one taking the footage. So if you have footage from Zion National Park and there's no identifying features as to who took the footage, there's no metadata that can be analyzed to determine who owned the drone, what serial number it came from, it'll be difficult to prove. But there was a case in the States where this guy flying a drone got a letter, basically got a letter of demand from, is it the FAA in the States? It's the FAA. Got a letter of demand from the FAA because they came across his YouTube channel, and there was footage from beaches where he was flying over people. He was flying near cruise ships. He was monetizing his videos on YouTube, and the FAA sent a letter of demand basically saying that's commercial use of a drone. You did not get the required flight operation certificates. And I don't know if they demanded money or whatever, but they never followed up on it. So we don't have a determinative answer as to whether or not the FAA or Transport Canada is going to go after people for monetizing videos on YouTube as though that constitutes commercial use of a drone. We'll see. Okay, so that should answer the question. But yeah, it's they can use it. So if you post something illegal, you can get into trouble. The two kids, I don't know if anybody has seen this video. It's classic. They strapped Roman candles to their drone. It was in Ottawa. Lit them. The one brother was flying the drone and flew it after his other brother while it was firing Roman candles at his brother. Middle of winter, in the middle of nowhere, on a lake. I was like, no real risk of anything. But one of the rules that was in effect at the time, and still is that you're not allowed carrying pyrotechnics from a drone. And so they were actually carrying Roman candles on the drone. And the Transport Canada used the footage to open up an investigation. I don't know how it ended, but they did, in fact, open an investigation into these two guys. So they can use your video footage as evidence. Okay, let's see who else we got here. Just ask Casey Neistat about how the FAA ordered him to stop flying in the city due to him posting all of his drone videos clearly showing him breaking the laws. So Casey Auto Doctor, I wrote that on one of Casey's videos. And then I felt immediately bad because I didn't want to look like I was trying to rat him out or give the idea to other people to rat him out. And I didn't want to like be the catalyst. So I'm pretty sure I deleted the comment. But yeah, there's no question. You're not allowed flying a drone anywhere in New York City, period. And I know this for a fact because, well, first of all, it's built into the drones when you have it on when you update your fly list, your safe fly zones, and your no-fly zones, it updates it automatically. So when you run your drone, it says you are taking off in a no-fly zone. Do you wish to override that function? And it's a known fact. All of New York City, save and except potentially certain specifically designated parks, is a no-fly zone. So I was always wondering how he got away with it, if he was just sort of flying under the radar, pun intended. But then at one point he made a video where there were a number of active investigations open, and he was hearing from the FAA. Yeah. So, and this is Casey Auto Doctor. If you can fly in areas where there is a no-fly zone, if you get in Quebec it's called, or Canada it's called an SFOC, like Special Flight Operation Certificate. And that's basically you notify FAA, Transport Canada, that you're flying, where you're flying, what you're flying for, how long the flight lasts, and they can take all the precautions necessary or make sure that you're not breaking any laws while you do it. If you do it commercially, you need to get the certificate and you need a professional company to do it, or you apply for your own permit. The problem is in Quebec, this might be getting boring, but it takes a very long time to get your certificate. So for like wedding photographers who wanted to do drone shots, it takes them like 3 months sometimes to get a certificate. And by that time the wedding has come and gone and they can't get the shot, or they just, take their chances and do it legally. Looks like I have to go, William Henshaw. If you're on when I'm back, I'll join back. Okay, Henshaw? Well, here we go. Peace. Have fun. London is the same. Cannot fly in London apart from a couple of parks which have flights. Yeah, absolutely. It really makes sense. The big thing now is, incidentally, anyone watching Breakfast TV, they're going to have a bit on Tuesday where I'm going to talk about the drone stuff. But this applies, generally speaking, for drones weighing 250 grams to 25 kilograms. And even if anybody has a Phantom, you see what those blades can do. It's not a joke. They're not toys. It's a shame that you can't fly it in downtown London to get these epic shots, but they won't necessarily take down planes, but they can blind people. They can chop people's noses off. 2 stories that every one of my family and friends likes to send me the drone horror stories. There was one in New York where they were doing like a mistletoe Christmas special. I forget who was putting it on. It was an advertisement gig, and the drone, I don't know, got caught. They were flying around a mistletoe, and the gag was that everybody under the mistletoe had to kiss, except the drone lost control and cut one of the model's tip of the nose off. And another one was in England, where the drone clipped a branch and crashed into the guy's nephew and sliced the kid's eyeball open, and the kid went blind in that eye. So they're not toys. They're objectively dangerous, but they're objectively awesome. When it's going to get really cool is when they can get high quality video on drones under 250 grams. And they are close, if not there. And under 250 grams, you don't need government authorization, or you don't need to abide by any of the regulation, because the drone is below the mass that is dangerous for accidents, planes. Apparently, the 250 gram is a determined limit, a mass below which it's not catastrophic for planes, and above which it is potentially catastrophic. So that's it. Oh, we got a kid in the background. Okay, so let's see here. We got the Don in London. Currently in the UK, as far as I'm aware, us YouTubers do not need the commercial certificate to upload on YouTube and to have it monetized. However, they are looking to change that. Or am I wrong? No, I think it's a gray zone right now. I don't think anybody knows if that is going to be deemed to be considered commercial use requiring obtaining a certificate. To me, it's impossible that it can, because that's not, it's impossible that that's what the legislators were thinking of when they wanted people to get commercial certificates before commercial flights. It's impossible, but we'll see. The problem is the government typically doesn't try to go after the minimum amount of power it can have over regulation, but you know, typically it goes for broader. Okay, so let's see here. Johnny before 93. What about DroneWorks Studio? He does it all the time. I couldn't answer that. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions here. Lorraine Baby asks, so cases in which they flew above 400 feet. Above 400 feet, you need a certificate, and you also need to override that function, that automatic limitation on your drone, which I never do, because I'm convinced if they don't do it already, they're going to eventually do it. DJI is going to relay that information to the authorities. I'm convinced. And I'm also convinced that one day we're going to be getting tickets, drone tickets in the mail, because of basically documented violations. That registration that's going to come with drone registration, you're going to get tickets by mail the same way you get them by cameras going through red lights. Once you have to register your drone, the information is going to be there. The companies are going to pass it to the government. They're going to issue the tickets for flying above the certain height restrictions or beyond the legal distances. It's only a matter of time. What is net speed you get usually? What is net speed, John Cena, you get in your place and during live stream? I'm not sure what you mean. Let me go down here. Oh, Amanda, star fan. Sorry I'm late. Don't worry about it. Oh, okay. Let's take a time here. We got 22 minutes. If everyone were to take the link and share it again, we can see if we can get, we have 25 people. Maybe the time of day is not ideal, but this 5 o'clock was proving to be like the worst possible time on a Sunday, but we'll find the ideal time to allow everybody who wants to get in to get in. Yeah, you practically need a no-win day under 250 grams, Lorraine Baby. Yeah, except if they start making more powerful, which they will, it's only a question of the prop power, or the whatever they call it, the lift or the torque. I don't know, but it's only a matter of time. The racing drones are very small and very, they're very good even in the wind. Can we spy on a private organization meeting through a drone? Spying illegally or unlawfully is generally a bad idea. Adrenaline Race Event says Transport Canada would then just adjust the law and lower the 250 gram weight limit. This is potentially true, and I'm waiting to see if this happens, because the rationale for the 250.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the world, but
Okay.
Thank you. Go give me the kitchen. The rationale for the 250 grams was, but below that is not catastrophic or potentially catastrophic for planes. So if they now then find another reason to lower the limit, we'll know that the explanation or the excuse was not necessarily 100% transparent, so to speak. I saw a cheap drone. What is it called? The Tolio or the Tilio? Some cheap drone, 130 bucks, under 250 grams, but you can't fly it on a windy day, and the video quality was not anything you would use. Oh, football is on. Johnny before 93 says, "Well, oh, there's playoffs." That's right. And I was just hearing about that controversy about the guy who kicked the field goal and missed it after they iced him on the first attempt. No drunk droning, Caden. It's not that it's no drunk droning. It's stricter laws for the drones for drinking than it is for cars. And you can't fly a drone within 12 hours of drinking. That is Orwellian Big Brother preposterous, because to me, at least, that seems to empower the authorities to breathalyze anyone they see flying a drone to make sure they have not been drinking within the 12 hours prior to. It's preposterous. That is preposterous. But whatever. I mean, no drunk droning. My kids are hilarious. Yeah, they're yes, usually. Yeah, John Cena is asking about your internet speed because you're a bit fluffy on the screen today. That might just have to do with the lighting because the lighting, it's a little dreary outside, and I'm using the backlight, so it's a little grainy, I think, and I don't have good lights in this house. Saints versus Eagles at 4:40. Let's go Saints. Who do I want to go for, Caden? Pick me a team. Who's the one with the fill-in quarterback that won last year and they're doing well this year? That's my team. Lorraine Baby says 12 hours. Drink droning. Is that actually a law already? You're kidding. No, Rachel. Not just you can't fly drunk. You can't fly within 12 hours of having consumed alcohol. I love your ostrich egg and your daughter's reaction when she said yummy. That was the funniest thing ever. The best one was actually when we were sawing it open with the hacksaw. That was the biggest hard-boiled egg. And like spontaneously in the middle of the video, she said, I love you, Daddy. And it was like special. Dawn in London says, yeah, I didn't know about the 12-hour law. That's only in Quebec. Only in Canada, and apparently only comes into effect in June. So maybe there'll be some like more sensible redrafting or rewording of the provisions, but I doubt it. Yeah, I'd hate to ask about weed. Well, you know what? It's harder to. This is Lorraine Baby. I personally don't do that at all. But it's harder to detect weed than it is to detect alcohol. So let's see what we got here. ET Phone Home says, not too fluffy. That's you, Sina. Okay, good. I love you too, Viva. This is Zero Hour TV in the house. How you doing, Zero? What else did we want to talk about? I love doing that, and then everyone thinks that the screen froze. Especially if I go like this, and then continue talking, and then okay. So let's see. We were in Vegas. Oh, I'm putting out that video tomorrow. Have I ever visited Nassau? No, and I applied for the to do the social media for Nassau. They were like reaching out to influencers, and apparently my credentials or my portfolio was not impressive enough to win the license. So no new licenses for flying a drone in Quebec. DSLR Dave, I think as of June, everyone's going to have to register and get a license in order to fly and be 14 years or older. So that's going to happen in June. I'm grounded, sipping a nice Cabernet from Southeast Washington, Rene Fabre. It's not that I run around drunk all the time, and there's no but to that. But if I can't fly a drone after having consumed alcohol, that is crazy. That one just blows my mind. What are my 2019 YouTube goals? I made a joke that I wanted to. Well, I didn't make a joke. I made an ambition that I wanted to get to 100,000 by January. I don't know. I want to grow. I want to hit 50K. I'd love to hit 50,000 like tomorrow, just so that it opens up the YouTube memberships. I want to not get frustrated at the slow growth, which is what I feel to be slow growth, or correlative under views for what I believe to be increased effort in videos. But I would like to hit 50,000 sooner than later. I would love to hit 100,000. I want to do some good interviews with people who I've always been interested in. I hope I can convince them to let me interview them based on my modest YouTube following and standing. In Vegas, I was actually with a guy in Vegas, one of the 3 GoPro winners who attended the CES in Vegas. His name is Austin Keene. I don't know if anybody knows who he is. The other guy's name is Nick Sacco. Amazingly great guys with pretty substantial Instagram followings. Austin Keene, I had no idea, is a world championship skimboarder, man. Skimboarder, the thing where you run and jump on the board. And I didn't want to turn the Meetup. Hold on, I'll get there in a second. I didn't want to turn the Vegas thing into like, I didn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable that I was like trying to interview or like turn it into something for my YouTube channel. But now that I've made a bunch of good friends that I would love to ask Austin Keane some questions on his life, because I got to know Austin and Nick Sack, the guy who jumped out of the air balloon. I got to know them well during the 3 days in Vegas, and they're great guys, and they have awesome life stories. So the next time I meet up, I'll ask if I can do something of a 20-minute interview so that they can share their story with the world. But I'm sure they've shared it already, and people who know them know their story. But thumbs up or hands up, or anybody know Austin Keane or Nick Osaka, go follow them on Instagram and that other one. No, Instagram. Instagram. What am I talking? Instagram. Austin Keane 47. Hold on. Let me just make sure about that. It's Austin Keane 47 and Savage Sack. Austin. Oh yeah. Okay. Austin Keane 47 on Instagram. Savage Sack. They do Instagram the way you're supposed to do Instagram. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Okay. You want to laugh? Okay. Let's see. Rachel Russian. Okay. Hold on. How illegal is it okay, this is Don London. To ride my motorcycle and fly my drone at the same time. How could they catch me? Don, I wouldn't worry about all of that stuff. I'm just trying to figure this out. You're riding your motorcycle with your controller in your hands, or like someone else is following you? I wouldn't worry. Don't get neurotic. Although it's always good to be paranoid because the government is always watching. Not to sound too much like George Orwell. Rachel Rawson, you want to laugh, Eva? Inspired John put me on his live stream, and my live was cutting out for 3 seconds regularly, like every 45 seconds. Yeah, there's nothing worse than a bad live stream. 0 Hour says, I've been thinking about getting a drone. Get the drone. Nothing has changed. That's other than the alcohol, the age limit, and the certificate or the registration. Nothing's changed. But even the registration was already there in the States. It's just not to sound cynical, but like Transport Canada, when the government gets involved and they make a body to deal with regulation, that body doesn't fund itself. So registration, licenses, and then they start drawing revenue so they can fund the body that they created to govern the industry. Same thing with boating. All they did was make people pay. How much was my license? I forget how much my boating license was, but I had to get a boating license. Jeez, not allowed drinking and boating either. The government doesn't let you have any fun. I'm joking. Okay. Judith Scott says, a meetup. We're going to do a meetup. Where do we do it? When? How? Montreal meetup, or do we do it like somewhere else? Anyways, there's possibilities. I'm turning 40 this year in May, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. After 3 days without the kids in Vegas, I realize I don't like traveling without the kids because I don't like having life experiences without being able to share it with my wife and kids. So we're going to do something. We were thinking Iceland, but I don't think we can afford taking the kids out to Iceland for a week. So we might do something good, but maybe like a 40th birthday meetup in New York City. That might work. Okay, let's see what we got there. Judith Scott, John Cena says, Boozagloo says, I thought you pulled out a calculator. No, I was, I pulled out my second brain. This is a picture of us at Potager Montrouge Alte Gourmande. Shake it. Potager, there's a few places which I will plug every day of the week. Potager Montrouge Alte Gourmande, the place where we picked out our pumpkin. It's in Montreal, in Rougemont, just outside of Montreal. Best place on earth. If you're in Montreal and you have a pet, you go to Little Bear. If you are in Montreal and you want something beautiful in the countryside, you go to Potager Montrouge Alte Gourmande. Potager, PMRHG on Instagram or whatever. It's just glorious. They got strawberry picking in the spring, pumpkin picking in the fall, apple picking whenever you pick apples. Amazing stuff. Okay. You look so young and muscular. Sir, did I go to, what? Thank you. Wait a minute. Let's see. The gray hair doesn't really come through. My beard, I trimmed it, and I feel bad that I trimmed it because my beard gave me power, but thank you very much. No, I've just been athletic. I think you have like muscle memory. If you were athletic when you're a kid, then you sort of maintain that and get it back quickly when you're an adult. But I also am obsessively neurotic about exercising, where I have to exercise every day, at least 30 minutes jogging. Kevin Fair says Indianapolis meetup. That would be an arbitrary place or a random place to do it. May 15th. MZ, May 15th. I'm May 23rd, but my wife is May 15th. Meet up in Montreal, Judith Scott says. Yeah, Montreal seems like a logical place to do it. Plus, I think either we could probably try to do it at that poutine place or at my favorite breakfast joint, bagels, etc. I would love for one of these places to open their doors so that we could do it. It would be great. Okay, wait, you're 40. Oh man, I'm gonna enjoy taking the piss out of you. Rachel, I don't care about age. All I want to do is be alive. That's I don't care how old I am. I just want to live. What a shame. I'm only in the mid-30s. I regret nothing. Yeah, you know, the only thing that happens as you get older is your back starts to hurt. But my back has been good actually recently. What do we want to see here? Juan Diego Ramirez. Yay! I finally caught one of these live chats. You what? You want to watch Ice Age? Who can put on Ice Age for Ethan? Marion? Oh, you're helping them? Okay. Okay, I'll walk. Well, we'll do this. Okay. Peter and Maddie could be so DSLR. You mean Maddie Davella, right? Because he said he's going to be in New York, and then he tweeted out something about wanting to meet up with New York creators. Hold on, guys. Ice Age. Here we go. And so he said something about meeting up in New York with other creators, and that might be a good one. But I have I'm realistic about my allure in terms of going after bigger YouTubers. It's coming in terms of I don't know, people trying to think I'm trying to ride their coattails with no value added, but that's my own insecurity talking. And let me just wait for this movie to get playing. Rachel Ross says, okay, good. It's on. Okay. 0 Hour says, I turned 44 in December, and it's amazing how differently I feel. Stay in. Okay, it is coming on. Matt, hey Poja. I don't know who that is. I was thinking of Matt Davella. I think my wife just recently. Okay, there it is. It's on. Okay.
What's going on with Fresh?
Okay, let's see what we got here. I turned 44. Yeah, 40. My brother's turning 50 soon. It's amazing. We're 5 kids, right? And there's an 8.5-year difference between the oldest and the youngest. So this is the decade, or this is the year when we are all going to be within the same decade. All 40. My grandmother, meanwhile, is turning 103. Pupu Kanenora. She's turning 103 in February. She was actually born on a leap year, so technically she's only 25 3/4. But okay, so let's see this. I want to say hi to. I want Mila to say hi. Mila. Well, that's my neighbor's kid. Natalie Bugazu says 13-year-old difference between oldest and youngest in my 5-kid fam. I don't know what's worse. I think like 8.5 years, your suffering as a parent is over within.
What?
John Cena wants to say hi. Let's see here. Maddie H is Peter McKinnon's studio partner. Okay, cool. 103 is redunk, as we say in the industry. So let's see here. James Newland says, I just turned 40 in December, and for the first time in 2 weeks, I hurt more than ever. Yeah, that's when like recovery from muscular events becomes. I noticed as of 33, recovery time was just no problem. John was just too high. Matt H is Peter McKinnon. So my nan got to 94 and she was great grandma in her lifetime. Boom. Yeah, my grandmother, not that she always says you count money, not great grandchildren, but she only had 2 kids. Between those 2 kids, they had 8 kids. And between those 8 kids, they had 9 kids. And then between those 9 kids, they have something like, I don't know, 20 some odd other kids. It's crazy. She's a great grandmother to, I think, 20 some odd people. Amazing. One woman, my grandfather who came from Poland, was the only one of his family to escape. And from one comes many. Let's see what we got here. So do we want to talk about CES or anything? Anyone have any questions? So quiet for a second. Anyway, so tomorrow, if I can get... Oh, Barney's here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. Okay, he's back. My nan... So MZ76 says, my nan always said, spend your cash on a good mattress and a good pair of shoes. If you're not in one, you're in the other. This is good. That's good advice. A good pair of shoes. The only problem is I find shoes to be sometimes a bit of a waste of money. Oh, okay. I'll put you down. Go. Not much groundbreaking tech this year at CES, just lots of updates on existing products. I found that the problem with CES, Rene Fobb says, you youngins must be respectful. I'm pushing 70 and still blazing the trails I want to. Enjoy adventures. It is health at later stages of life is the biggest blessing on earth, because it's when it goes bad, you never appreciate how good you had it when it was going well. Oh, Rachel, when Rachel comes to Montreal, you can kiss the dog, but you might want to be careful, because I'm going to post on Instagram what he was doing to Pudge just earlier today, which was not not hygienic. Okay, it's too much to deal with. It's like the Metropolitan Museum in a sense, where you can't possibly expect to see all of it in one day. Admittedly, it goes on for multiple days, but it's just booth after booth. I was a little disappointed that there was not as much sort of like freebie toy stuff. It's really loud. Like freebie toy stuff, and there wasn't all that much toy stuff either. Like the drone sections were, everything was the same, just toy drones, nothing special. I was kept on getting asked not to record. French bulldogs eat their own poop. No, they keep their female partners clean. If catch my drift. It was horrifying. It was just too much, and plus I don't like 10,000 people. I mean, in one enclosed area, security was decent, but. And then we got on the monorail after one of the days. The monorail line, it was if a pop had gone off, people would have stampeded each other in panic. It was just you were like cattle, and it was not pleasant. A Joe says, Viva, I have to run, my good Canadian brother. Peace and all that good stuff. Bye, peeps. A Joe, peace out. Take care. French bulldogs. Okay, we got that. How about the drone saga at Gatwick Airport? I mean, that's crazy. So this is an interesting thing. On the way out to Vegas, just randomly, I sat next to somebody who was a military contractor who was actually involved in. We're at 42 minutes. Okay, perfect. Do I bother everybody to share one more time? Do I send out a notification that the live stream is on, or not bother? Anyhow, I was sitting next to a government contractor who specializes in UAV. I don't want to say terrorism, but security. And he was saying how overseas, bad guys are using drones for combat, and in terms of flying a drone out to catch the position of the incoming military or the position of soldiers, relaying real-time visuals back to home base. And I just told us, I thought, it figured it would have to be easier to intercept a drone or to bring a drone down. It was like snipering it out of the sky, a drone this big from a kilometer away, when it moves at 30 to 70 kilometers an hour is not feasible. They have these falcons, which I don't know if anybody knows, but they drop a rope onto the drone. They're birds of prey that go after the drone as though they would prey. And then the problem now is the Phantom 4, I think, flies at 70 kilometers an hour, which is faster than a bird can fly. So the birds can't capture them. They don't have any meaningful technology to sort of zap them and bring them down in position, but I think that's where they're going. It's crazy. My notification didn't come on until 19 minutes later. That sucks. So hold on one second. So how about the drone saga? I see the word cover up and my ears are perking. John Cena, peace out. It's John. The dog's licks are antiseptic, right? Yeah, unless they've been licking the private parts of another dog. Many people think it's a cover-up. Emsy, what are you referring to? Cover-up of what? Like they were trying to get someone out of London and they didn't want people flying out? But it's crazy that that the mayhem that people can cause with a drone by an airport, but you understand it. Cervixy says, "Oh my God," and I'm only going to assume that, not knowing who that is, that he or she is referring to the "Oh my God" about the dog licking the business. Let's see what else we got. Okay, Cervixy is out. Bye-bye. Did we scare her? Oh, drones. They say it was something else. I'm going to have to go to my 4chan message board and see what they're saying out there. I'm joking. I don't actually have an account of 4chan. Jacob Show says, here in Slovakia, you can't legally fly a drone. You need a license, almost like an airplane pilot. It's It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, some countries it's just crazy. And the funny thing is, like, some places it's easier to fly a helicopter than a drone. That's when do I sleep? Typically at night, but usually anywhere between midnight and 6. Do you know the guy who owned Gatwick sold the airport 2 days after the incident? After the incident means he got screwed if he sold it after. Selling it 2 days before the incident, I imagine. But how do you own? Who owned Gatwick? Sold the airport. How do you sell a government? Is it privately owned? I would have thought it would have been a government institution. Anyways, MZ, this sounds interesting. I'm going to have to look into this now for a future vlog. 2.7 billion. What was it worth 2 days before the incident? That's like catching a falling knife of a stock, as they say. Okay, then we got Declan Skay says, I just bought my little brother a $500 drone. Which one did you get? 500 sounds like the Spark. My daughter Mila's friend bought a drone and he got the Phantom 4. And you realize when a kid's 12 years old, 13 years old, 13, you realize how quickly people can get into trouble when they have not seen how bad things can get with a drone. Which countries, this is John Cena, have you toured since? Do I think that the flat earthers are trolls, or do they actually believe it? I had that same question myself. The one question I would love to interview a flat earther. I would love to interview a flat earther, and not to mock them, not like it's not. The problem is a lot of whether or not they're trolls. A lot of the people poking fun at them are not actually trying to. They're trying to just exploit other people who have very mistaken beliefs, as opposed to actually trying to do anything productive. Kind of like whatever. I won't get into that. But I don't know how they could believe it, and I don't know how they could think that if you go in a rocket ship from ground of Earth to outer space to see that it is circular, how they could then still believe that it is flat. That would be the question I would ask them. Because I've listened to some of the arguments, and the arguments are always indirect reasoning, like if the Earth were flat or round, and then you have whatever the function they're using is, then it has to be flat because this doesn't make sense. I don't care about that. It's like Zeno's paradox, where Zeno says you can never move from point A to point B, because before you get from point A to point B, you have to get halfway from point A to point B. And before you can get halfway to point A to point B, you have to get halfway before there, and then halfway before there. And because there's an infinite many halfway points, you can never get from point A to point B. That's a good thought experiment, but the reality is I take one step from A to B and I'm there. So anybody who thinks motion is impossible because they believe the Zenonian paradox, I would just like them to explain how I just got from point A to point B. Same thing with the flat earthers. I don't want the complicated deductions from calculations. If they're in a rocket ship and they go into outer space, they see the Earth become circular, and unless they think it's a flat disk which would then change, because you would not see Australia when you're looking in North America, how it becomes a flat disk. Is it two-sided? And then if it's two-sided, when you fly around it, why would you not see the disk shape of the flat Earth? But that was a long answer for the flat Earth. Drones, they say, was something else. Slovakia just bought a drone. I was asking many countries you visited until now. I'm not a big traveler. We've been to Egypt, the border of Lebanon, Israel. I've been to France. I think I stepped foot in Germany just because I crossed the border near Freiburg, but I'm not sure. I think I was in Monaco. I believe Monaco counts as a country. United States, we were in Mexico on a cruise, but I stayed to the ship because I'm nervous about everything. Where else? Europe. Oh, Scotland and Ireland. Beautiful places. Do I ever have a slow mode? I do not have slow motion. You need to come to Yorkshire. London and England was on the list, but I'm not sure where we're going to get to Europe in the near future. Rene Fogg says it's crazy that drones are managed, not managed because we don't have guidelines. Like photos in the public space, you see street level. Okay, hold on one second, Rene. I want to make sure this. It is crazy that drones are managed, not managed because we don't have guidelines. Public, like photos in public space at street level. Okay, wait, you may have to, I'm not sure I understand. Sounds like a good amount of travel. Yeah, that's travel over 38 years. But in the last, I think we went to Scotland 10 years ago. That was amazing. That was before drones. That was before I was into GoPro. That was back when I was into HDR photography, and I would just go around taking pictures, HDR pictures of everything. The moonwalk was faked, and we've never been into space. Well, people believe that. I mean, look, it's. I don't care if I don't care how implausible I think the thought is. I think the tendency just to mock people for even holding implausible thoughts is a social media thing, not. I can have a discussion with someone who thinks that we didn't land on the moon. I don't, and I'm not going to call them names. It's I've been following Philip DeFranco and the anti-vaxxer portion of his last video, and now I'm seeing him, posting these unnecessarily insulting comments. Look, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. It doesn't mean that I try to go out and demonize them, and I understand the rationale that maybe people think they deserve to be demonized because they're placing people's lives at risk, but parenting is a very personal thing, and you're not going to be in tune with every parent's beliefs. And if you are vehemently anti-vaxxer, I can understand it. But then, you have parents saying you shouldn't let your kids watch TV because it causes all sorts of problems. And then when other people start parenting for you and getting into your life, then, the judgment goes from the anti-vaxxer to every other life choice. Yes.
Okay.
You smell like peanut butter and chocolate.
Exactly. Because we made granola bars. I want to tell you that they're done.
Okay, good. Oh, let me smell your breath. Okay, get out of here. That you smell like chocolate.
Because I'm eating chocolate.
0 Hour says I'm kidding. By the way, don't worry. I got that you were kidding. I got that you were kidding, but hey, someone can believe something ridiculous, and we don't have to go out of our way to demonize them and mock them and call them names. Canada has always been on my bucket list. It's the best country in the world. In all respects, it is not densely populated. The nature is just magnificent. You have every climate in the world. I mean, you have desert, you have Arctic, you have lush greenlands, you have like rainforest type stuff. It's amazing. It was a GoPro Karma drone with a harness. Yeah, so the clan escaped. So
He's
go.
asleep.
Is he really?
He's
Is he asleep? Don't wake him up. Don't wake him up. Just go do something. Yeah, I wanted to get the GoPro Karma, but they had an issue where at one point they were falling out of the sky. They had to recall them, and I think they had to respect some of the sales. But they're not making they're not making a drone again for a while from what the consensus was. Love chocolate breath. Yeah, chocolate breath. It is better than the alternatives. You have hockey. We have hockey too. Oh, we got Hamilton says youth. I think you need a release form for that new kid. No, her mother knows. She's been in a few videos. I braided her hair with vacuum cleaners. Everyone go check out that video. That was one of the videos where I got a lot of hate in the comments. I braided her hair with 3 vacuum cleaners. 2 of them were like regular floor cleaners. The other one was a Central Vac. And all the comments were calling me a creep, a pervert, disgusting for putting their hair in a dirty vacuum cleaner. It's a good video. Peace out, Freisters. Edie Murphy's gone. Edie, peace out. I know it's late where you are. Edie, you are in the United Kingdom, correct? Hey, Freisters. One journal. Jeff and Pam's in the house. Hello, Freisters.
I thought she was Eddie Murphy.
No, it's not. I asked. It's 1D, so it's Edie Murphy. Be very confusing. Peace out, Freisters. Rachel Watson. They truly are. They truly are. I know a lot of Canucks from ice hockey. Amazing people. I'm reluctant to say like Canadians are nice, polite, and Americans are not. These whole like national stereotypes and everything. But Canada, first of all, I've been to the States. The people are magnificent. The people in Canada are magnificent. The geology is magnificent. It's beautiful. And you have like not really massive cities, and you have nature and beautiful country. 45 minutes out of every big city. I think. I remember that video. How long ago? It was 2 years ago. It was a good one. It got licensed out, and it was on it was on a daddy vlog, and that video did well. Edie Murphy's in Los Angeles. Then you have no excuse, Edie. I'm joking. What will you have for dinner? What's Mrs. Frei? Well, incidentally, I cooked dinner last night. It was squid and calamari, and it was delicious. And I don't know what's for dinner tonight, actually.
What do you mean you cooked dinner last night?
Well, with the help of a Japanese chef who stay around for that video. I have to edit that video together, but I gotta launch my videos in order.
You bought dinner last night.
I bought dinner. She said, I hear someone in the kitchen saying, I didn't cook dinner, but I did cook dinner. I cooked the octopus. I did not cook the calamari. Okay, Louis got here. Hamilton, how the weather there? I'm in Miami. Hamilton, here it's minus 17, and we're supposed to get to like minus 20 something Celsius. So Tim Scott says, LA, Cali, alternate America. Yes. LA and California is a different country than the United States. It was I mean, it's a different culture. It's just a totally different culture out there. Rachel Ross and I've lived in Calgary for over a year. I love the people there so much. I want to go back. Hope I'll have luck to get the visa again. Calgary is beautiful, except Calgary in winter, man. Did you say you filmed it? 0 hour? Hold on, 0 hour. What are you asking about? Did I film what? Okay, we're getting up to 60 minutes. So we're going to call it a quits unless like there's a mad rush of people who want to talk about other stuff. Cooking. Oh, I did film it. Yes. It was a good one. I put the 2-minute video of the guy showing us how to clean the calamari on Facebook as sort of like a teaser, but also I found that video very useful. Why were you scared to step out of the cruise ship in Mexico? I'm extremely neurotic, and not. I got off the cruise ship and saw like the policemen who I don't speak Spanish, they don't speak English, and that's right. I don't speak Spanish, they don't speak English. They have like AK. Well, they have assault rifles, and they're walking the pier, and I'm realizing like if there's a misunderstanding, even with law enforcement, and that's assuming that. I don't get into the law enforcement that forces me to pay the money or, there's a lot of corruption there. I'm scared of everything. Just let's leave it at that. I'm scared of parasites from the beaches. So that's why. So, we did one trip. Oh, we went to Belize. We got off a stop in Belize and I got out of the gates into the village. And I just, I got scared. I just went back to the cruise ship. Of course, I get scared in Los Angeles as well. we went to Venice Beach. One thing I've been getting very good at is hiding my internal terror and anxiety, but I'm still feeling it, and I just prefer not to feel it. Oh, come, join.
We're having chicken. It's ready. No, it's not ready, but it's in the oven.
You smell like chicken and chocolate.
We're making chocolate.
I went to Vancouver last year. Loved Vancouver's. I also felt uncomfortable in certain parts of Vancouver. I went through East Hastings just to see it during broad daylight. Felt very uncomfortable. East Hastings, for anybody who doesn't know, is like the crime, hard drug central of Vancouver, of Canada for that matter.
That's when we accidentally ended up in East Hastings.
Yeah. Okay, Sina's out here. Viva, see you soon. My birthday twin, MZ. MZ's birthday is May 15th. What year? Oh, yeah? What year, MZ? It's my favorite, Marion.
I don't know where the hat is. I think it might be in the car.
Hopefully we didn't. Hold on one second. Okay, when she doesn't have the hat, she'll wear this one. There we go. Mrs. Frei, how are you doing, man? John Cena. Now Cena's in. Neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. You don't know. It's crazy. It's what's crazy about it, and to get into it, maybe we'll get into it like one day when I have no liability of discussing it. I'm in Vegas, and like we get in the hot air balloon, and I don't want to die.
What this?
What is that? You look like a furry. Then I'm walking the streets of Vegas, and like all I'm thinking is like something's gonna happen to me before I can get home to my kids, and he's asleep on the couch. And then I do the roller coaster at the Big Apple. If anybody's been to Vegas, they have a roller coaster there, which I had no idea how intense that roller coaster was. And as it's like going up the rails, I'm picturing. No, wait, you can't actually do this. Give me this chocolate chips. As I'm going up the rails, it's like going, and then I'm thinking, I'm going to die on a roller coaster because I'm an idiot and decided I had to do this roller coaster before leaving Vegas. Okay, get out of here, guys. You're making too much noise. And then I get on the plane, and then my plane, okay, you guys have to leave because it's too much noise now. Go. Okay, and then anyways, then I get on the plane and I fell asleep on the plane for a couple hours, which was nice because that relieves the anxiety of flying. So that's it. Neurotic to the bone, anxious to the bone, and coffee and Red Bull are probably not the best combination. I have been told, but I don't care. I love Red Bull. Oh yeah.
For Rachel.
What about the roller coaster that used to go through the building in? Oh yeah, oh no, Rachel. They took that down. They stopped that. Apparently, it cost like way too much to maintain, like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to maintain. There was a roller coaster that ran the side. I think it was the Needle, but it was built onto the side of it. I would have done that totally. Pooped my pants when I did it. Ma'am, can you tell me what flavors and spices you put in your chicken curry? Oh, ma'am, I'm reading that in a southern drawl.
It's just roasted chicken. So Lila did it actually. Mustard, chicken spice.
I can smell it on your hands. It smells good. Jacob Show says, oops, sorry.
That's better.
Mustard, garlic, I can smell it.
Put it in the oven for an hour.
You got to get it under the skin. Downtown Las Vegas is the best. A lot of street art there. Yep. Only bad thing is way too much beggars. What I feel bad about is you realize that 90% of homelessness is directly correlated to mental illness or drugs. I mean, it's and in Vegas you go through, and there's just, in Canada I don't think we have necessarily a better system. We just have weather where 6 months of the year you don't see as much of the homelessness, but it's like it's depressing because there's no infrastructure, and there's also very difficult ways to help people who may not seek the mental help that they need. Incidentally, when I was a lawyer, we used to do these things called motions for confinement, which is the hospital would mandate the lawyers to go to court and argue for the forcible confinement of people with mental illness who were dangerous to themselves or others. And it was very depressing. I said I was never going to do that again. Love the channel. Have a great day. Tim Scott, got to feed the dogs. Okay, yeah. You know what? Better feed the dog. Yeah, I got to feed them and walk them, and then I got to exercise, and then I got to go do that.
It's probably a good time for him to be sleeping. He's asleep in front of it.
At 5 o'clock. This is going to be a late night. The balloon ride was magnificent. It was magnificent, and having done it now and knowing the mechanics of everything, we have a balloon fair in Noyen? Eastern Townships.
Saint Jean.
Saint Jean. We're going on a balloon this summer with the family because it was just glorious. Yeah, well, no, and I saw some homeless on Green Avenue near where we live, and I just think it was too cold today. It's too cold, but you can't force people to do things. It's just like
they're changing the Royal Vic.
Oh,
the hospital into a homeless shelter.
For anybody from Montreal, the Royal Vic is this big hospital where used to be a hospital, but then they made the mega hospital, so they emptied that out, and now they're going to turn it into a homeless shelter. It's big. MZ says we have chicken curry tonight too. Haha, your Taurian wife is gorgeous.
Taurus.
Oh, Taurian. I thought that was a color of her olive Taurian colored skin. Mm-hmm. Why do you look so much more tan than I do? I look pale and pink. Ethan should sleep early. He is still. We got to wake him up.
He just fell asleep.
He just fell asleep. We got to wake him up.
Today, so.
Okay, we're over an hour. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna call this one quits. We're gonna go wake up the kid, and I'm gonna exercise while someone deals with. Sina, where do you live? You have to be if there's a swine flu spreading to you, you have to be. I want to say, Indonesia. Oh, did he delete? He deleted the comment. Uh-oh. Did we just get him in trouble? Bye. All right, man. See you later.
Rachel would like me to explain neuroscientist, like neuroscientist or neuroscience.
I've never showed you the cables on the back of my head, eh? Well, next vlog. Okay, so let's do it. We'll India, John Cena.
Next time I'll explain neuroscience.
Okay. Next time she'll host her own live stream. There's very few live streams in the neuroscience field.
I don't think they're ready.
Jacob Show says, I wrote you before about considering to make a new channel focused for kids. You should do it. You'll be big.
Like Coyote Peterson.
Well, I'm just going to turn my channel. I can't start from scratch. John Cena says, I'm from India. Yes, please, Marion. Both, please. Okay. Okay, people. So that's it. Shall we?
Next time.
We'll wind it up. Okay. Yes, FA. Yeah, FA in the US. Okay. So that's it. What time is it? 5 o'clock? Time to exercise? Time to walk the dogs? Time to eat dinner? Time to do everything?
Okay. Bye.
Peace out, people. Oh, check out tomorrow's video, people. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I think. It's good. Bye-bye. End stream. Cover this up. They can still hear us. Hit the end stream. It's not over yet.